Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you here for another Legends of the Past. And it doesn't feel like it was that long ago when this
Oh,
youngster, this guy,
look at these grays, man. It's been a long time.
you had the grays in the beard, but you lost the beard, Luke.
I had to. I couldn't take it. It was like growing in my mouth, and my wife wouldn't kiss me anymore. And I mean, it was bad. I'm laying on the bed too. By the way, I'm hiding from my kids. I'm in the guest bedroom right now. So
Oh, this is adorable. This is fantastic. This is the
yeah,
way that YSN should be, live and
I,
in your
I am.
bedroom.
I am. I'm in my spare bedroom hiding because as soon as the kids hear me, they're gonna come storming up here. So
Well,
how
now we've
how the
established
grays
you have
going?
kids. You got kids now. You're not a grandfather yet, even though you have the grays to show for it.
True.
Let's talk about. I mean, you are in the South Range Hall of Fame for all the great things that you did in your student athletic career. Talk about first off what it was like to be included in that great group of people and athletes that are in that hall.
Yeah, it's an honor, and like you said, it was forever ago. I think it's been 22 years at this point since I graduated, which is insanity. But just the honor of being in the South Range schools. I mean, because when you hear South Range, you think athletics, you think football,
Right.
and you know what we did. My senior year is 1996 was the football season. 97 we graduated. We went two rounds into the playoffs, which at that time, it wasn't as there wasn't as many teams getting in, and it seemed like it was much more rare for schools in our area to get into the playoffs and to go that far. And it was fantastic. It was the team. It was my class started as sophomores, and basically we played all the way through. We went like our sophomore year. We had like 10 starting sophomores, I want to say, both ways, and worked our
Wow.
way through under Coach Yeagley. And who's I can't. We'll talk about him here in a bit. I mean, he's an amazing guy. And we just went through, and by the time we got beat on our sophomore year, did better our junior year, and then senior year we dominated. And I was a wing back or receiver / running back, the hybrid player and a defensive end, and it was awesome. And you still have fond memories 22 years later.
So when you look at the game that you played as opposed to today's game and how it's completely revolutionized, especially the positions really that you played, you
Yeah.
would be a completely different player. And you talk about maybe going from Hall of Famer to the GOAT at South Range. You would certainly be in the conversation if it was nowadays.
I don't know about that. I mean, it was the game today has definitely changed to how it was before. I mean, you can't even compare it. There's so many upgrades film wise. There's so many. They had you talk about an upgrade. I saw. I went by a practice. They have a drone up in the air. You know what I mean, for the entire practice. I think you guys have shown videos of the drone showing the plays. I couldn't imagine what it was like. With our thing was Saturday after a game, you grab some breakfast, bring it into the gym, and we had a big projector screen. And Coach McClellan, who was an assistant coach, he was a head coach for years. He would just, Schuster, you missed that block, you suck. I mean, that was basically how we trained it and how we went from there. It was a rip on whoever messed up and laugh at him training program. So, but yeah, I mean, it would have been different. I do miss playing. I still try and play basketball. Obviously, I can't play football. But I quote competitively play basketball still, which is not even. It's like old man basketball at this point. I just quit. So
When you look at kind of the I guess the heritage, the brotherhood, the almost as if it's a I mean, South Range is special, is what I'm
yeah,
trying to say. All of
yep,
the athletes, whether you play or not, everybody goes to the football games on Friday nights. Everybody
yep.
goes to the basketball games during the week. Boys, girls, indifferent. When you look at the specialness, the uniqueness that is South Range, what is it internally that makes it so great to be a Raider?
You summed it up when you said it's the heritage and it's the history. I mean, they have been good. They were good for years. Basket or football, everybody goes. Everybody goes. Everybody follows it, and we're not even talking about just South Range, North Lima, Greenford people. We're talking across the county. People go to watch those games. It was like it when I played. It's like it now, and it was like it 20 years before I played. It's just what everybody did. And I mean, just to talk about the heritage and to talk about people knowing, I still have people when I say my name or they see my advertising for the bank, Luke Schuster, you played football at South Range in 1997. Now, granted, most of these people are older, but they
Yeah.
remember watching the games, listening to the games, and it's always about South Range. I am always proud to be from South Range. I always, talk about be playing football at South Range. And it's just like you said, it's a mark I have in the history of all the athletics we played. I went to college and played some football. It's always a mark of, hey, played at South Range, and people recognize it and people know it. So
And you kind of jump right into our next question. You went to college at Westminster, my alma mater as well. So
yeah.
we share the Titans between us. What was it like for you? And for people who don't realize, especially nowadays, there is a massive jump between the high school
Oh,
and the college level and the expectations. Can you kind of walk us through what you went through?
yeah, I made it 1 year in college football. And again, I was pretty good at high school football. The athletic jump. Now, I went from, at that point, Westminster was D2.
Hmm.
I went from, and I was recruited by everybody. I went from South Range to Westminster. I would have, if I would have kept playing, I have no doubt I would have started. I would have played. I was on the road to start, or to start playing a lot more time my sophomore year in college. The jump is unbelievable, and that is just D2. I can't even imagine going to play at D1 after seeing what it was when I went to D2. And the thing that always cracks me up, and I am a big supporter of youth sports. I am a big
Hmm.
supporter of, the teamwork, the camaraderie. That's what you get out of these youth sports. These parents and these couple, and I'm going to be honest with you, the people who are saying, well, my kid's going to go D1, he's going to get a full ride scholarship, he's going to do amazing. I'm going to put him in every possible thing you could possibly put him in to make sure he goes D1. Odds are they're not going to go D1. Odds
Sure.
are they're probably not going to go D2. They'll probably be able to go D3 if they're a decent athlete. And I'm just being, people need to hear the truth, and I'll be the first one to say that. I
But
hope
there's
you're
no shame in that, and that's the thing. You're not saying there's shame in going D3 because
nope,
there is no shame.
no. Any sort of athletic, college athletic, you should be proud of, because it is hard to balance when you go off to school, you get away from your parents, you go off to college. It's hard to balance the athletics, the sports. I have anyone that respect that plays in college, because you go from having a lot of fun, and it's a lot of work in high school, but it's more of a job in college, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what people, and you and I have had this conversation before, where you realize that you're the best player on your team. Yeah, you see Steve Leslie in the background,
I
just
just
kind
saw
of
Steve my
waving.
window.
You realize that you're the best player on your team. You're the number 4, or number 3 hitter on your team, and all of a
Yep.
sudden you go to college, no matter what level you're at, and you're all that player, right?
It's
So
tough.
you
Yeah.
you realize that real quick, that it's not your world for the taking anymore, and you start at the bottom and you got to climb your way to the top.
It
Um,
yeah, it's an adjustment. For anybody graduating going to play sports, just know you're not going to be the best anymore. That's just the
that's
way it
it.
is. It's an adjustment.
So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, did you watch the ESPN documentary last night on Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls that
I
year?
didn't have a chance yet, man.
Oh,
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
love it.
on my list. I'm telling you, it is. Well, you have kids, right?
I do.
I, at this point, when those kids go to bed after the end of a day of being together and quarantine together, I'm like, honey, I'm going to the
Right.
basement playing video game. I'm hiding somewhere. I can't. I should have. I'll get that on my list. But I heard it's amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. The one thing that I wanted to talk to you, I mean, you made the jump from high school to college, obviously, making your way through that in some capacity, made it out, right? We had that conversation of sometimes you make those decisions of
Yeah.
having a couple of adult pops, if you would.
My
Um,
my
when you graduated, Luke,
yeah.
what was it that kind of drove you to be where you're at now?
When I graduated from college,
Yeah.
oh, that's a story. So I was a when I went to college and I didn't take things very seriously to start. If my dad's listening, he's going to back me up on this. My grade point average might have drifted a little low sometimes, but if you talk to anybody from Westminster during my time period, I promise they'll tell you I was a good time to hang out with. If that makes
You're a
any sense.
legend. Yep.
I am a legend in my own way at Westminster College for reasons probably not where you're supposed to go to college, but yeah. So, anyways, I graduated, was a public relations major, and graduated. And actually, this is a little fun fact. I actually went and worked after graduating. I worked on a cruise line for 2.5 years. Hey, look at there's the advertising. I graduated for 2.5 years, or I went to work on a cruise line for 2.5 years. Excuse me. Traveled the world, came home, and said, "Okay, what the heck am I going to do with my life now after being all over the world?" So I got into banking, had an opportunity, and I've been doing mortgages since I was like 25. So different banks. I've been on a whole long list from the big banks to the little banks to the brokers. And then this past year, I had an opportunity to basically franchise out. It's my own branch for Nationwide Mortgage. And it has been fantastic. We're going to open up a branch in Poland. We had a spot picked out until all this stuff happened. But it's given me an opportunity. We're super busy. We're doing great. I just hired my little brother, Isaac Schuster, who's working with me, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff online and Facebook. And we're going to be interviewing you for our new podcast. We're starting tomorrow there. Tonight. It's going to be released tomorrow. We're going to be releasing that, and we're going to be interviewing you. We're going to be having some fun along with trying to help everybody refi and purchase and do that kind of stuff. So.
No, obviously with your job, it's I don't want to say it's mundane, but it can be if you let it be. But you seem to have a lot of fun with it. What is it about what you do that's different from everybody else, and why do people are people so attracted to why you do what you do?
I think I'm just different. The banking has such a reputation, especially mortgages, of just, hey, I need you to fill out an application. Hey, I need you to do this. Hey, here's our rates. I have my entire career, I've tried to kill that. I want to be your friend. I want to have fun. We joke around. My customers are always laughing when we're on the phone. That's, if you go to my Facebook page, Luke Schuster, and we're going to be releasing some other Facebook pages, it's absolute insanity on there. It's almost like I've taken on a Facebook persona. Luke the loan officer is what you were calling me. Yeah, and it's like, it's me. I'm having a good time. We're joking around. We're laughing. I'm trying to make, if this is anything, I'm trying to make mortgages fun. And, buying a house and refinancing, it's totally terrible. I mean, you're bringing in paperwork. You're stressed out. I'm trying to make it as enjoyable as possible and have fun. That's one of the reasons why I hired my brother, Isaac. Is we've done Facebook videos. We've worked together. He's going to be a great loan officer, but at the same time, we're going to have a lot of fun. Do you remember that the Cleveland Browns kick we did?
I do. I do.
We had a YouTube video that went off for like, I want to say it ended at like 80,000 views or something like that. And we're going to try and redo that and make that happen again. So we're going to try and post some fun videos and food eating contests. We talked to you about that a little bit. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, the thing that I'm most excited about, people maybe don't realize they might recognize your voice from YSN, but they recognize your face from everywhere else. Trying to tie the two together, and reality is Luke, you do a lot, not only just on with YSN as part on air personality, but you also support YSN and you believe in youth sports. You've already kind of alluded to it. Why 100%. Is youth sports so important to you?
Well, I grew up playing sports since I was in like 4th, 5th grade. And then, I went off to high school, and now I have 3 boys, 9, 5, and 2, and they're all doing their thing. The 9-year-old's already trying to do everything under the sun. The 5-year-old's already starting soccer, and, the 2-year-old just running around like a psycho, but he'll do sports too. Youth sports to me is, it's important to the point where it's fun to play the game. Again, this is just me, in my opinion. Some of these parents take it too serious. They don't look at it the right way. I think a lot of them, again, my kid's going pro, my kid's going D1. More than likely, they're not. So with like my kids, and when I coach every youth sport under the sun, it's more about the teamwork. It's more about the camaraderie. It's more about, celebrating, having fun. And then the rest is the athletic, the competition. Competition's good, but it can drive somebody crazy. You know what I mean? And I want these kids to learn, when you're on a team for youth sports, it's kind of like in the future when you're on a job at a bank, for instance. We have team members, we have teammates, we all work together. It's very similar to sports. And I think that's a very important lesson to learn for these kids. And that's why I will always volunteer to coach, just so then that way I can make sure those kids have a good experience and they're learning what it's going to be like in the real world when competition happens. And one thing I always say, I've coached some high school basketball, JV at South Range actually, and some of the parents, would, well, my kid's not playing a lot, and I'm, it's a tough conversation to say, but this kid's going to learn. Hey, you're not the best at this. You're going to have to do your time. You're going to have to practice, and then down the road, maybe you'll be better. Maybe you get more time. It's not. It's just it's so many lessons to learn in youth sports.
Sports is nowhere near instant gratification that many people think it is, and that's what I
Not
try
at
to
all.
explain to people. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your time under Dan Yeagley, one of the greatest people I know, one of the best coaches in the area, and a 200-game winner. What was your time like under Coach Yeags?
Oh, I got bonus time with him because this is how long ago this was. He was actually my class's freshman coach before, and then when we went on to be sophomores, my sophomore year was his first year coaching as a high school coach, as a head coach. So we kind of went with him through when he was starting. I mean, that's how long ago this was. That first sophomore year, I think we were 2-8. So Coach Yeagley was 2-8 his first year coaching, but then as we grew and as we got better and as the program developed under Coach Yeagley, Coach McClellan was there. There was Coach Farron was there. We really started going, and that's when that program started picking up. It was good before Coach Yeagley too, because Coach McClellan had some really good years going through there too. It was Coach Yeagley. I can't even. I mean, he was absolutely amazing. He was tough on you, but he joked around. He had fun, and he expected a lot. But again, so much respect, and it continues on 22 years later. You can see these kids totally respect everything he does and says, and he respects the kids, and that's why he's been successful. I mean, he's an amazing guy. Hi, Coach Yeagley. I hope you listen to this, and yeah, there you go. I mean, it was a blast. So.
And last chance for your pitch. You can elevator pitch here on YSN. Go ahead and tell people where they can reach you and what you can do for them.
Okay, elevator pitch. Nationwide Mortgage. We're opening up an office in Poland, Ohio. We're doing things different. We're trying not to be like the local banks that say they're local. We are local. We got me, my brother. We got another hire coming on. We're going to be from around here. We want to take it step by step with you, help you buy a house, help you refinance, low rates, good closing costs. And you get to see my giant head on all the advertising in town too, which is just an added bonus. And you don't realize how big my head is until, look, DJ, look how much bigger it is in yours right now.
I know. It's humongous. What
It's
are you
huge.
doing?
I can't wear hats.
You need a Luke Schuster Chia Pet is what you need, because that would be an awesome sale.
If we can get that, I'll give those out with every loan closing. I like it. For
Dude,
your new house.
Let's work on that. That's our next thing to work on with your marketing experience.
Awesome.
Luke Schuster from Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, thank you so much. The Hall of Famer from South Range, legends of the past here on YSN. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.